These are some very impressive qualifications, Mr. Folf. I mean, for real. Now, why do you think you'd be a good candidate for the furry fandom?
I'm a potato.
You've got to be kidding me. Next.
OwO.
What'd you just say?
OwO?
You're hired.
Woo! And hi everyone, my name is Stormi the Folf, and today I'd like to talk about, well, how to be a furry, what is a furry, or rather, things that furries like. A lot of what I'm about to discuss may seem self-explanatory and obvious, but there are several ways one can identify as a fan of anthropomorphic animals, aka be a furry. The community has grown to such a scale that it's gaining traction in places like Webster's Dictionary. There's never truly been a set-in-stone textbook definition for the term, at least based on my knowledge, but being a furry can mean more than just having an interest in animal-like anthropomorphism, and per Cambridge Dictionary, anthropomorphism means the showing or treating of animals, gods, and objects as if they are human in appearance, character, or behavior. The books of Alice in Wonderland, Peter Rabbit, and Winnie the Pooh are classic examples of anthropomorphism. We're gonna focus on the animal part of that definition. But before I continue, please be aware this is all entirely my opinion, and it's a-okay if you don't agree with me. Also, there is no such thing as a furry council or a license system. Literally anyone can be a furry. That'd be kind of weird actually, because the DMV is bad enough in real life. Do you think we should have a fandom registrar? Let me know in the comments below. And again, I'm not trying to generalize the community or anything like this, which you will find out more about as we get towards the end of the video. Anyway, let's talk about some of the things us furries like to do. Do you like Sonic the Hedgehog, Miles Tales per Hour, Pokemon, Digimon, Ratchet & Clank, Spyro the Dragon, Sly Cooper, Wolves, Foxes, Zootopia, movies with anthropomorphic animals? Chances are, you just might be a furry. Being a furry is not a bad word and can be as simple as having a collection of, Tails plushies. And no, I do not have a problem. I can assure you, I don't have a problem. This is not even half of all the Tails plushies I have. I might have a problem. I might be a little obsessed. Anyway, but seriously, anthropomorphic video games most likely played the biggest role in helping me discover my furry identity. My own persona is inspired by both Sonic and Tails actually. Making a persona, or an anthropomorphic character. There is a difference between the two, which I'll talk about in a future video. But anyway, I've talked about this before in a previous video, which you can click up above. But creating a persona based upon an animal or a mythical creature is one of the first ways to really put your name out there in the community. Making a persona can be a lot of fun, and when you have one, you normally can't stop yourself from making another. They can really get your creative juices flowing, can help you discover new parts of your personality, get it? You never thought about, and of course, act as a temporary escape from reality. Because, real life sucks. No one wants to pay bills, do taxes, homework, and wake up early every morning, right? Okay, I know some of y'all like to do that, but it's good to, do something different once in a while. Having a persona can be your alter ego, an extension of who you are, or just a random anthro being you made up at 3 in the morning. Pro tip. I tend to get inspired the most either when I'm taking a bath or a shower or just getting into bed, so if you're really struggling for ideas, just try to think of something during those times. The arts. The community is extremely art-driven. I don't know if the furry community or fandom would really exist today without the art side. There is absolutely no shortage of amazing artists in this community, and most of the time, I'd say it's how people discover the fandom. If you really love drawing, walking, talking doggos, you might be a furry. And furry art goes beyond just drawing and painting, lest we forget fursuits. Yeah, those are art pieces too. We also have plushies, graphic novels, and musicians. Seriously, we have a fox fursuiter who could play piano with their paws on. How cool is that? Animation Me review. The last few years on YouTube, furry animations have become something of an emerging trend. To me, they're just a lot of fun to watch. They're nice and short, they often have catchy music with them, and sometimes they're just really funny. People will take their own personas and/or characters, and visually speaking, bring them to life doing anything from singing their favorite tunes, flapping their ears, referencing other animation memes, and so on. Now, it's important to note that animation memes aren't limited to the furry side of things, but if you look up animation meme on YouTube search, you'll clearly see a majority of the memes are based around anthropomorphic animals. I mean, we are taking over. I should totes make a Stormi animation meme someday. If I knew how to animate. Gotta try out Flip a Clip or something. Some of my favorite animators are Seomaru and Chipflake. I highly recommend checking them out if you haven't already. Fursuits! Haven't done that in a while. You don't have to own a fursuit to be a furry. You don't have to like fursuits to be a furry. You can be scared of fursuits, but still be a furry. That being said, many new furs get their start in the community by the fascination of these walking, fluffy art pieces. And it's not hard to understand why. They can be super cute or downright terrifying, in a good way of course. They're a great way to immerse yourself into being your own persona, physically speaking, and very few things come close to the surreal, comforting, euphoric feeling of hugging a fursuiter. Seriously? Fursuit hugs are amazing. Provided they take care of their suit, of course. And just as a picture is worth 1,000 words, so are these walking pieces of art. And of course, there's fursuiting itself. It's a terrific way to bring role-playing, or RP, for those who are a little out of the furry lingo, to the next level. Social media. Pretty self-explanatory. There's a niche group for almost anything you can imagine, and that includes furry things as well. And within these groups, you can connect with other furries who share similar interests and naturally start to make new friends. Now, I say there's a group for almost anything because things like new species are being made all the time, so new groups for a brand new species aren't always going to appear overnight. Again, pretty self-explanatory topic. I made a whole video on that, which you can check out up above. Role-playing, or RP. Yeah, gets a bit of flack in the community, but it's still a very popular activity. Most notably on apps such as Furry Amino, role-playing refers to acting out as one's character or persona. You might think of it as playing pretend with other like-minded people, especially if your persona is like a mythical 2,000-foot tall being that would never exist in this dimension. Although that would be really cool and terrifying at the same time if it did. Now, there are many styles and routines when it comes to role-playing, which really go beyond the scope of this video, but the moral of the story is everyone needs to agree on who is role-playing or doing what. No God mode, unless everyone's okay with that. And most importantly, keep it legal. Going back to fursuiting for a moment, this would be a really cool way to engage in LARPing, aka live action roleplay. Although with regards to communication, it might be wise to plan things in advance given how difficult communication can be when in suit. Plus, you'll need to be really careful not to damage each other's suits if any kind of combat is performed. Honestly, I would totally advise against it. If you're gonna do anything at all, don't use anything beyond plush props and make sure they are the softest plush props you can find. Even then, I'd be kind of scared doing that. And obviously, don't pick up other suitors unless they are 100% okay with it. Attending conventions. These are like weekend-long slumber parties just for furries, and it's one of the best ways to exchange interests and make new friends in the fandom. Although, if you've never attended a convention before, I strongly suggest bringing a friend or relative so they can join us. I mean, because it's easy to get lost at cons, at least for people like me. Join us. They can be a little overwhelming for newcomers, but yeah. Furry merch! I feel like I'm repeating myself because I just did a video on this, but still, it's a good way to get involved in the fandom. Pretty self-explanatory. You can get tails at Spencer's, Paw-Star hats, Persona pins, tons of t-shirts. Also, I made a whole video on this, like I was saying, and if you want to learn more about that, you can check it out, the video I made about it up above. It's this one. My camera has this selfie mode thing going on, so the right is left and left is right, and it confuses me! Being a furry in denial. It's exactly what it sounds like. That used to be me many years ago. Afraid to tell the world that I like furry things. Many people are afraid to tell others that they're furries or that they're interested in the fandom because their parents, family, friends, or employers may not be so welcome to the idea. Because, number one, it's still a little uncommon, and for some reason, anytime there's a bad person in the community, it's like hailing fire and brimstone. The world's ending. And suddenly, we're the worst people on the planet, even though there are like literally bad people everywhere and not just in the furry fandom. Let's take someone named Jeff. Jeff did a really horrible, terrible, no good thing. Does that mean everyone that's named Jeff is a terrible, no good, bad person? I don't think so. So you might as well say that. At the end of the day, the furry fandom is just what you make of it. If you choose to only see negative things about the fandom, well, that's all you're gonna see. And I already expect several people to go, well, I like Sonic, but that doesn't mean I'm a furry. And that's okay. You can have a profile pic of a cartoon fox and refuse to identify as a furry. You don't have to agree with me. The definition of furry isn't concrete, and honestly, I don't know if it ever will be. Hence why I said this is my opinion. You don't need to do any of these things with the exception of being interested in anthropomorphic animals to, again, identify as a furry. It's also important to note that you don't have to like role-playing or fursuits or animation memes. You could simply just find anthropomorphic animals in some way, shape, or form interesting. Anyway, I hope this video was at least a little helpful or a little bit enjoyable. This is not going to be my best video, but if you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up, maybe leave a comment. Let me know if anything I said made sense or if it was really dumb. Subscribe and share it with your other furry friendos. And on that note, I will see you all next time. Bye bye!